You wanted glory. Cheering crowds, golden armor, your name carved into history. Instead, you got sand in your wounds, a diet designed to make you fat enough to survive stabbing, and a life expectancy shorter than a Roman winter. Welcome to being a gladiator. Let's talk about why it sucks. Here's the first problem. You probably didn't choose this life at all. Most gladiators weren't glory-seeking volunteers. They were prisoners of war, condemned criminals, or slaves purchased specifically for this purpose. If you were free and volunteered anyway, and some desperate men did, you'd have to sign away your legal rights entirely, becoming, under Roman law, infamia, a person stripped of citizenship protections. Either way you arrived, the outcome was the same. You now belonged to a ludus, a gladiator school, and to a man called a lanista, who owned you the way he owned his weapons. You'd think elite fighters would eat like elite athletes. Instead, you're fed an almost entirely vegetarian diet of barley, beans, and dried fruit. So heavy that gladiators earned the nickname hordeari, barley eaters. Modern bone analysis of gladiator remains found unusually high levels of strontium, consistent with a diet supplemented by drinking ash mixed into water or wine, believed at the time to fortify the body after training. The goal wasn't peak athletic performance. It was building a thick layer of fat over your muscles, so that when you were inevitably cut open in war, the arena, the crowd would see a dramatic show of fat and blood, without your opponent hitting anything immediately fatal. Your suffering, quite literally, was designed to be visually entertaining. Every day began the same way. Hours of drills against a wooden post called a palace, practicing the same strikes until your arms gave out, under the eye of a doctore, a trainer who was usually a retired gladiator himself, and who carried a rod specifically to beat you if your form slipped. You'd specialize into a fighting class, maybe a retiarius, fighting with net and trident, or a secutor, armored and built to hunt the net fighter down. Your entire body would be shaped around one narrow skill set for the rest of your short life. Because a lanista's business model depended on making you good at exactly one brutal, marketable thing. Here's the part that surprises most people. Gladiator fights weren't usually fights to the death. Owning a trained gladiator was expensive, and dead fighters couldn't be rented out again. Historians estimate that most contests ended without a fatality, decided instead by submission, injury, or a judge's call. But that safety net vanished the moment the crowd turned against you. If the mob screamed for death, the event's sponsor, sometimes the emperor himself, would often grant it, whether or not the fight's outcome technically called for it. Your survival, in the end, depended less on your skill than on how entertaining the crowd found your suffering that particular afternoon. Say you survived, say you won again and again, and became a crowd favorite. You still weren't free. Freedom came only through a wooden sword called a rudis, symbolically granted by an event's sponsor, and only after years of proven survival, if it came at all. Most gladiators never lived to receive one. Average careers lasted only a few years before injury, infection, or a bad afternoon in the arena ended things permanently. And even the rare survivors who earned their freedom often had nowhere else to go. No trade, no land, no family untouched by the life that had consumed them. If there was any silver lining, it was this. The best gladiators became genuine celebrities. Graffiti found in Pompeii shows fans scrawling the names of star fighters on walls, the way people today might tag a favorite athlete. Proof that even under this brutal system, a select few carved out something resembling fame. It's just that fame here was measured in how entertainingly you might die, not how safely you might live. So next time you imagine ancient glory, the roaring crowd, the golden armor, the legend, remember, behind it was a starving, scarred, owned human being, one bad afternoon away from the end of the story. If you want more Why It Sucks to Be X breakdowns from history, subscribe. The next one's already waiting.